Well, hello everybody. Mike with Spray Jones coming to you with another video on spray foam insulation. If you're new to this channel and tuning in for the very first time, my name is Mike. I'm the owner of Spray Jones, and I do content on spray foam insulation, primarily 2-pound closed cell foam insulation, as well as open cell half-pound foam for the North American market. I'm situated in Canada. I'm a contractor, but I'm trying to educate as many people in the industry about the products, the pitfalls, the good, the bad, and the ugly of the industry. In this video, we're going to go over a very important thing that most people do not consider, and that is why your quote, your spray foam quote, is only about 30% of the equation. If you're looking at the price that the spray foam guy is giving you, that's only 30% of what you really have to be thinking about. So, what are we going to talk about today? Number one thing in the quote is products and services, but that's all in relation to price. So when you're trying to decide who to trust in life, there's generally two criteria that you're going to have to use. The first is, what are you getting sold? What are you getting quoted upon? What is the scope of work? Now, this can be daunting in and of itself. I've seen where other spray foam installers can be out by as much as 1,000 square feet. If you're doing a full house or a big shop, do they take into factor primers and top coatings? Do they take into account corrugation, especially on metal buildings? Corrugation can throw you out by 10%. And a lot of times people say, well, I backed out all the windows and doors. Okay, but the problem is you still have to deal with them on being masked. So getting a one-to-one quote, apples to apples, can be difficult because a lot of guys come to footages differently and time and material takeoffs differently. So you really want to question your guy not to reveal how he does his takeoffs, but what is included in his takeoffs. You know, am I going to have to do the prep? Do you do the prep? Do you do the cleanup? Do you do the caulking? You know, are you putting the vapor barrier up? Who handles primers, top coats, these kinds of things? All of that needs to be compared back to all of the scope of work, whether you're doing roof, walls, under slab, basements, crawl spaces, garages, bonus room floors, cantilevers, you know, just the walls, part of the walls, special top coats, fireproofings that you're going to need over in the joist stands. Each county, each province has its own regulations. How are they going to meet that? But the point number two that I'm going to make is what we're really here to discuss today, and that is the intangibles. Now, if you have followed anybody ever in business that does mergers and acquisitions, I've always liked the mergers and acquisitions group, right? The Thomas Crown Affair type stuff. What they are looking at is, all right, here's the data on what the business has done and will do, but what could we do with it? Where can we take it? What do they have? What is an intangible piece of the business, like reputation, word of mouth? What kind of education does the business have and is it capable of doing? What kind of buying experience do they promote? What is their commitment to quality? And in intangible mergers and acquisitions analysis, the people purchasing the company are not necessarily looking at it from the standpoint of what the seller has done with it. They're looking for what they're going to be able to do with it. So what pieces of the business are great and what can we build on, such as a great reputation? All right, what if we add our marketing team and our sales force to this already well-established product? And we've seen this all the time, right? We've seen this in the tool world, in the software world, where a great product comes out into the market and the competition comes, a bigger corporation comes and buys them up and engrafts that product now into their service line, right? So they've got a lot of different products that maybe they didn't create them or they didn't create them, but they're now offering them. All right, what is the intangible with spray foam, right? The reputation of the spray foam company is paramount, all right? And no, you're not going to have a great reputation with just being 1 or 2 years in the business. Now, you can have a really good word of mouth. You can say, you know, they did work for my cousin, my brother-in-law, my friend, my coworker at work. These are the things that you want to get to the bottom of. You want to take that quote, you want to set it aside, and you want to start looking at what is the word of mouth. Now, people can manipulate things online. We've all seen where you can get a Google review or some favorable reviews on things where you get a bunch of your buddies to come in and say, yeah, best job ever. These are the greatest guys. Definitely would hire them again. Okay, you can generally sort through that fluff on the word of mouth things. But if you start asking around in your community, people that you know, contractors that you know, electricians. Word of mouth carries very, very quickly. You can find out whether or not these people are who they say they're going to be. The second is really going to be what kind of education do they have in the spray foam, and are they able to educate you? Are they able to explain the product, the process, what's going on, why you would do it a certain way, why you would not do it a certain way, and what the building code has to say about it? These people should be well educated on the product and process, and if there's any new innovations on their products, on how to use them, they should be bringing that to you. And all of this is going to add up to two major closing things, and that is commitment to quality. So if you're going to have a good reputation, good word of mouth, you have the education, you've got good products, generally speaking, there's going to be a commitment to doing things right, because fakers cannot get this far in the conversation with you, right? They're going to get annoyed, they're going to get disrupted when you're chatting with them. They're not going to be able to explain the process and the technical side of things, nor are they going to have the time to. The other thing is they might be flippant about their price. I mean, like, take it or leave it. Quoted it high. We really don't care. We're not going to put any time into this. We don't get out of bed for $14,000 or less. Those are all warning signs, right? So commitment to quality, a commitment to the second thing then is the buying experience. And I tell people this all the time. Listen, is your guy going to answer your questions? Is he going to answer your phone calls? Get back to you with texts? Is he going to get back to you with emails? Is he or she going to go out and look at your job if need be or when need be, all right? Are they going to consult with you on getting it built, getting it prepped, answering your questions about electrical and roofing and shingles and other products, right? And framing and, general construction notes. Are they going to consult on this? Are they going to advocate for you? Are they going to try to hit a certain set of goals and experiences so that when you're not upset on site, or why didn't somebody tell me that, or we shouldn't have poured the concrete then, or you should have thought about this first or second or third, or well, if we had known that, we would not have done this. Those are all expressions of either not setting the expectations of what the client is buying, how it's going to be used, how it's going to be implemented, and who needs to know what along the way. You cannot expect the builder, you cannot expect the general contractor to know on these things. You need to come in, you need to educate them. If they've got previous experience with spray foam, great, then inform them on what you're doing. If they say, yep, we've done that before, great. But the overall idea is that from the moment that the client contacts you, gets educated, gets a quote from you, you discuss their project, the entire buying experience from the first contact to getting the job sprayed, to getting the job cleaned up, rigged out, bill paid, right? The entire experience from start to finish should be one that's pleasant, right? So the intangibles are, I think, in my opinion, 70%. And this is where most people become disappointed. Most people become fed up, disillusioned, right? Disenfranchised from the whole entire process. They go quickly on the white paper number, a little bit on product, a little bit on scope, but nothing on tangibles. And tangibles are what you really are paying for at the end of the day, because, hey, the guy might be able to put the spray foam on fairly cheap, but if he's a jerk and it was a whole teeth-pulling process in order to get the thing done, and they lied to you and they just made you feel angry, then you're not going to recommend him, you're not going to want him back, and you didn't have to go through that experience. So get down to figuring out how to know whether or not your buying experience with these people is going to be something that's going to be great. And it starts with word of mouth, okay? So leave a comment, like, subscribe, do what you want. Catch you on the next video, and we'll be finishing off our series here soon on learning spray foam. Bye.